Hello, I'm an Spanish native who has been learning English for more than 3 years, Japanese for 13 months, and I'm a calisthenics athlete. These two hobbies are why I want to introduce discipline to language learning. If you have started learning Japanese like 2 months ago, this is one of the first questions that pop up into mind. What words should I send as mine? And it's really much more simpler than you think, so I'll be covering what standards you should have for your sentence mining and how I study them in Anki. At the first stage, you should have like 30 to 50% of comprehension, and so you should mind every word that doesn't surpass the 6K frequency. Something that I don't really see much people say as well is that you should mind words that are easier to remember, because there are words that have really bad frequency, let's say like 30 to 40K, but they're really easier to remember, and if they're using the content that you're watching, you can mind them. Now, if they have more than 50K frequency, don't really bother mining it because you're going to find it in like 6 to 7 animes from now, so yeah, it's not worth it. Probably the most important standard when it comes to understanding your immersion content, and it is that you literally must mind that word if it is said more than 3 or more times during a period of 20 minutes, which is usually an anime episode. So the reason is, when you have that much exposure to a word and you mine it, it's going to be really easy to learn that word during your Anki session. So even if it has 20 to 30K frequency, it's really good to mine. This is the last standard, and it probably has the same importance as the last one. Mind words that are going to make you learn kanjis and forget the other 3 standards I have said. This is a really good one once you have like more than 8 to 10K words, which that's the point I'm at right now. The reason for this is simple. The more kanjis you know the meanings of, the more comprehension you're going to have overall. And even if it doesn't have a good frequency, usually there's a word using that kanji that has good frequency. So yeah, don't care about anything, just mind cards that make you learn kanjis. I don't know if this is the best way, but it's the way that makes more sense for me. So first, whenever I'm reviewing on Anki, I usually don't care about memorizing all of the meanings that a word has if it has more than 2. There's just one reason for this. You don't want to be spending your time memorizing to perfection, because when you're doing immersion and you encounter that word, believe me, in 2 to 3 seconds, which is the time that a sentence usually lasts, you're not going to be thinking about those 5 to 7 minutes you memorized, and you probably will need to review it again. The second thing I do is to not spend more than 5 seconds with a card. Usually my reviews last in about 4 to 5 seconds on something, and that usually makes your sessions not go over 40 minutes, which is almost the perfect amount of time to not consider that you're studying Anki too much, but not really a small amount as well. Overall, you don't want your sessions to be more than 1 hour long, and you don't want to spend more than 5 seconds on cards, because that's the maximum time that you should be thinking about that word when you encounter it through immersion. For the reason that if you're paying attention to just one word, you are not going to understand your immersion. A Japanese person usually says like 12 to 15 words per 5 seconds, so giving most of your attention to just one word instead of the whole sentence doesn't make sense. Of course, don't really bother spending like 10 seconds in one card to understand it, and then the rest of the reviews you shouldn't even be spending more than 2 to 5 seconds on that card. So that's it for the video. Be sure to subscribe and give me a like if you want to have more discipline and watch learning friends. Thank you very much.